Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and in today's video I'm going to be running down my top 10 transcription videos on YouTube, which have amassed about 7 million views, and I'm going to be giving them all away to you for free. So if you want to download the guitar profiles for these and the PDFs, check out the link in the description. You can download them for free. So I'm going to run through the top 10 and tell you a little bit about each one of them, story behind them, and why you might want to learn the content. So here we go. So number 10, yes, we have Vinnie Moore's REH intro solo. And of all of the shred solos that I transcribed, this one kind of surprised me that this one did as well as it did, because I would figure that maybe the Paul Gilbert one would be more popular than this. But I think the title, where I imply that he's one of the most underrated shredders from that era, really grabbed people. And that makes sense because, you know, if you're unfamiliar with somebody, you probably want to check them out. And you should check Vinnie's playing out, because this solo in particular, I remember hearing this for the first time and just thinking how unbelievably articulate his picking was, how precise. It's almost like it's like he played it in slow motion. Each note has that level of pick attack and attention to it. But of course, this is way back in the day. That it's not the way it was done. So yeah, you just listen to it and there's this wonderful level of precision and control, but also aggression in his playing. And, you know, he had lots of great albums back in the day, like Mind's Eye and Time Odyssey. But Vinnie's playing has continued to develop over the years. And if you're unfamiliar with his playing, I definitely would recommend you go and check him out. Awesome player. Transcription's a bit tricky, though. Have fun. See my baby one morning. Number 9, we have Marcus King playing Drifting Blues. Now, I was really surprised that this video did as well as it did, because this is Marcus playing in a guitar store, so it's not professionally recorded, and he's singing as well as playing. And generally speaking, those don't tend to be the videos that are all that popular on my channel. But of course, I don't make videos just for views. I don't make it for popularity. I make things that I think are cool, and I make things that I want to share with the world. I love Marcus's playing. I think I made this right before I went to see him play last time he was in Glasgow. He's just such a soulful singer, and there's so much kind of authentic music history in his soloing style. So I really understand and resonate with the music that he's making currently. So I wanted to make the video, and yeah, it did really, really well. I would recommend looking at this if you're looking to understand how a great singer can accompany themselves on the guitar and introduce some licks in and around the things that they are playing and singing. Marcus is awesome. At number 8, we have Brandon Taz Niederauer, and this one is a good opportunity for me to talk about YouTube titles. So I learned in making transcription videos that became popular that it's very important, the title that you give a video. And this one got a lot of flack because I compared him to Hendrix, and people tried to make that about race, and it was never about race. It was about being or grabbing the attention of the idea that here's somebody that you hold in very high regard. You should check out this other person who I think you should hold in high regard because he's a great player too. And to date, this video is now the 4th most viewed Brandon Taz Niederauer video on YouTube. So it's obviously put a lot more eyes on him. So I don't regret the title in the slightest, but people misunderstand that when you make a YouTube title, you're not making a title like you're filing a book in a library. I'm not interested in making titles for people who are looking for a specific thing. I'm making content for people who aren't looking for that thing. I'm making content so YouTube can suggest it to people, for people that weren't out looking for that specific video. That's how you introduce people to new ideas or new players. And in this case, a relatively unknown guitar player, but well worth checking out, because kind of like Vinnie Moore, he has that really articulate thing going on when he picks. There's a lot of precision and control in his rhythm, and because of that, he can dig in and give a lot of aggression in those picking runs. So yeah, he's a really, really great player and definitely one to watch. So at number 7, again, huge views on this, 325,000 views, is an old video from the 70s of Glenn Campbell playing solo over the song Back Home Again in Indiana, which is the same chords as the popular jazz standard Donna Lee. So I made this wanting to grab people's attention and draw attention to the fact that guys back in the 70s were no slouches either. You know, fast technique isn't just a modern thing. It's been a constant development. And there are some great players from that era that you can go back and check out. You know, I've done Roy Clark as well on my channel. But Glenn, great singer, great songwriter, but he could really pick. He could really, really play. So I think it's always, enjoyable and impressive to look at things like this. And I think this one got so much attention because I put the tempo. I can't remember the exact tempo, but something like 320 BPM. And lots of people like to tell me that I'm wrong. They're like, oh, no, it's actually half that. It's 16th notes and it's half that. And I'm going to say I don't like telling people when they're wrong, but I quite enjoy that. They are wrong. The idea of counting a quarter note tempo in jazz it's undeniable. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Wherever that 2/4 feel is with your click is where your 1, 2, 3 and your 4s are. Just because a tempo is really, really fast, gypsy guys, they're not afraid of playing tunes at the 320 BPM type things where you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, it's easier for you to process it at half the speed, but from a music writing perspective, the tempo is the tempo. So great video, well worth checking out. And if it pushes you down the route of checking out some of Glenn Campbell's singing, songwriting and guitar playing, then it was worth your time. In at number 6, we have Frank Gambale playing live with Chick Corea. Frank is somebody that I know very well now. I transcribe music for Frank. So it's always a great pleasure to be able to draw people's attention to just how amazingly influential Frank's playing was. Or let's not necessarily say influential. Let's say ahead of the curve, ahead of the time. Because still to this day, there are some players that have come out and they can do a very, very good impression of Frank's playing style. Notably guys like, Alex Hutchings does a really great job of imitating Frank's style. But back then, Frank was one of those players that was just instantly recognizable. He has an approach to the instrument with his picking technique that just facilitates lines in a certain way. And of course, I titled the video saying that 35 years on, nobody comes close to this sweep picking. And you would not believe how many people like to tell me you should check out Jason Becker or you should check out Jeff Loomis or any manner of guitar players. And it's like they don't stop and really listen to what Frank's doing. And I think that's why Frank may be so underappreciated. It's because, yeah, sure, guys like Becker and Loomis, players that I love, like, don't get me wrong. And Michael Romeo, like one of my all-time favorite, probably my favorite metal player of all time. He's a great sweep picker. But what Frank's doing is a different approach to the sweep picking thing. It's not about going up and down and playing triad arpeggios and just, stitching chord progressions together. Frank's playing is more intricate and harmonically advanced. Like he's really doing a lot of really out there ideas. And yeah, such a great player. So I'm really glad that people checked that video out because Frank's a big influence on me. I don't play anything like him, but I have immense amounts of respect for everything that he does because it's very hard to have your own sound on the instrument. And when you hear Frank play, it's Frank. Let's take a quick break from all of that and remind you that you can download all of these transcriptions completely free. Link in the description. Go and grab them in Guitar Pro and PDF format. And while you're there, maybe consider checking out Guitar Pro, who have a sale on for Black Friday. It's 30% off. It's the biggest sale that they have ever done. They let me know this in advance, and I thought, well, I'm going to make this video anyway. So what a great opportunity to tell you guys that you can go and get Guitar Pro for 30% off in their Black Friday sale. I think it ends the 1st of December. So act now. So in at number 5 with 390,000 views, we have Scotty Anderson playing Are You From Dixie? Now, I go way back with Scotty's music. I've transcribed so much of his music for people over the years. And many years ago, I posted this particular video without the transcription on Facebook, and it went like really viral. I think it got like 4 million views or something like that, which put a lot of attention on Scotty Anderson, which again is a great feeling because I shared that video not for financial benefit. I didn't get any benefit from posting that video on Facebook. I didn't make any money from it, but I did it because I love Scotty's playing and I wanted the world to see Scotty's playing. And a bunch of people discovered Scotty because of that video. So a couple of years on, I decided, well, I'll post the video on YouTube as a transcription video. It's one of the first ones that I posted as a transcription video, and yeah, it did great. It's the transcription goes a little bit out of time with the video towards the end because I was still sort of learning the best way to do things, and I didn't realize that it had gone as out of time as it did. But I love that video because, again, it's that idea of I present an idea, I say, this guy does something that nobody else does. And that's true with Scotty. Scotty's, the way he solos with double stops, nobody else does that. That's a fact. And the amount of people that go, well, this isn't that great. Have you seen Roy Clark play? Or this isn't that great. Guthrie Govan can do this. And great players, absolutely great players, but everybody can be great at their thing, and like give people the props that they deserve for the thing that they do that they're amazing at. Scotty does something that's truly unique and amazing, and it deserves some attention. So really look at that transcription and consider what it is that he's doing there when he solos with double stops, triple stops, even soloing and double stops like a tenth apart from each other. So soloing on the A and the B string at the same time. It's absurd. He's so good, and a lovely man to boot. So in at number 4, we have Derek Trucks playing I Would Rather Go Blind at the White House. This is 520,000 views, over 500,000 views on this video. And, I know why this one went as viral as it did. It's because you talk about the president, and it's hard for Americans to consider. But as somebody that doesn't live in America, my life does not revolve around American politics. So it's just not an issue for me. I can post a video like that, but the amount of comments on that video where people want me to tell them which president he's playing for, because it's almost like the answer to that question will dictate whether or not they're allowed to enjoy the video. It's wild to me. It makes no sense to me. And there are people pointing out that it's clickbait because the president isn't in the video. And I'm like, why would you expect him to be? Generally speaking, when musicians are on stage performing, the cameras are pointing at the musicians on stage performing, not the people in the audience. So, lots of people got very upset. But again, I feel a great video was made there because Derek's playing is just out of this world, and getting to see that and show that to as many people as have seen it is such a great feeling, and it's a wonderful performance. It's a very short solo, of course, because it's just a solo on I Would Rather Go Blind at the White House. I won't say learn it, because playing slide in open E is a skill. It's very, very hard. If you're looking to learn to play slide, you don't start with that. You come to that years later in your life. But very cool video. In at number 3, we have Guthrie Govan playing Man of Steel with Hans Zimmer. This is a live performance on stage. Very cool piece of footage. Blocked in Russia. You can't witness that one in Russia. That's been copyright claimed. I mean, I should point out, I think all of these videos are copyright claimed. The respective copyright owners make money on the videos. I don't make the money on the videos. But again, it's not about making the money. It's about making cool content and showing you cool guitar videos. So this is a very, very cool video. Guthrie just blowing everybody away with his solo on this one. And it's why it's got like 550,000 views. Just a killer solo. It builds and builds and builds. Very powerful. And it comes back to that Man of Steel melody at the end. And just... I did put a little joke in the video where the camera turns to look at somebody else, and they point that like, no, the guitar solo is there. Watch the guitar solo, because that was very funny, but well worth checking out because of course it is. It's Guthrie Govan. Speaking of Guthrie Govan, number 2, we have Guthrie playing Regret number 9 for Stephen Wilson's record. Now, it is worth pointing out, people like to use this video as an example of how great Guthrie is because he does, he tracks solos like that with one take. But this isn't that. This is actually a music video, whether you realise it or not. There are a couple of spots in there where there's vibrato on notes, and he's not playing vibrato in the video. So this is him really there may be elements of that particular take that were used in the final solo, but it's not like the solo on the final record was a one take with no edits in it. Not to take anything away from Guthrie, but just so people understand how music in the studio works. This is such a cool video, and I remember seeing this for the first time years and years ago, shortly after it came out, and I remember thinking to myself that I don't like the vibrato on this. I would always criticise the vibrato to people, but as the years have gone by, my ear has become accustomed to the vibrato that he's going for there. There are some players, guys like Paul Kossoff or Steve Morse, who have very recognisable fast vibratos, and generally speaking, back in the day, that wasn't a sound that I went for, but now that's the sound that I expect on that particular recording, and I do enjoy it. So such a great solo. It builds, it outlines chord changes. Of course, I've questioned, is it the greatest guitar solo ever recorded? Of course not. That's a deeply subjective matter. That's going to be different for everybody. But again, if it gets you watching some music and it gets you talking about music, then who cares about the title? And in at number 1 with 3.2 million views, yeah, this one went super viral, we have Derek Trucks playing a solo live on stage with BB King and John Mayer. Now, I transcribed this one like 8 years ago, but I only uploaded it to YouTube maybe 3 years ago, not expecting it to be as popular as it turned out to be. I should have uploaded it 8 years ago, right? But knowing my luck, it wouldn't have gone viral. And much like with every other video that I've made, you know, this isn't about money. This is about showing people something that I think is really cool. Derek's playing, deeply influential to me. I go and see him live every time he's over here in the UK. It's almost a religious experience seeing Derek play with the Tedeschi Trucks Band. And getting to watch him on stage playing and having John Mayer just kind of blown away, bowled over by what Derek is doing is such a great moment. And I'm so glad it was caught on camera. And I'm so glad I've been able to bring it to a wider audience. I would say to the naysayers that, and I think this is important, right? Lots of people on that video comment and say, oh, this is just simple blues playing. And it's not. They say, oh, he's just playing minor pentatonic over a 12 bar. I mean, the transcription's there, so you can see that it's not just minor pentatonic, and the chords are there, so you can see that it's not just over a 12 bar blues. It's guys, it's okay to not like a style of music. It's okay to not have an interest in playing a style of music. But you deserve better for yourself than to just look at a thing and say, I don't like that thing, therefore it's simple. No, that's not why you don't like it. And that's fine. You can have a million reasons for not liking a thing, but because a thing is simple, especially with this example, is not the one. I've issued the challenge to many people in that YouTube comment section saying, oh, this is just simple blues stuff that anybody can play, is it? Cool. Post a cover of it and I will PayPal you $500 right now. None of them took me up on that offer. You'd think for free money, you do it, right? Now, of course, none of this stuff really matters. This is about driving engagement and making sure that more people see a video. I want people to see this video. I want people to be as moved by playing like Derek's as I have been. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. And that is the end of the list. So thank you so much for checking this video out. Like I say, check out the link in the description and download yourself a completely free copy of all 10 of these transcriptions in Guitar Pro and PDF format. Maybe even go and grab yourself a copy of Guitar Pro software so you can press play on all of these transcriptions and listen to them and slow them down and work on them at your own pace. Thank you so much for all of the views that I've had on all of these videos over the years. If you have any questions or requests, leave them in that comment section below and I will see you for another video very soon. Laters.